Right. I had to talk about this because for the life of me, I can't understand how it's taken people this long to figure it out. It's something I said, I think, when the game came out. It's been like 4 months since it came out. People only seem to be catching on now. Now, full disclosure, I pulled these screenshots from Button Check's channel again. Like I said, I watch Button Check whenever Ernesto uploads, but I don't always agree with his takes, or I agree with them, but I think he's given a much more PG version of it. Not that I'm going to say anything wild here, but I do want to go over these screenshots from people within the Mortal Kombat community and give my thoughts on this. Now, just before I do that, I did see a couple comments from when I uploaded my previous Mortal Kombat video saying he's only doing this for the views, he's only uploading hate content about Mortal Kombat for the views, which is obviously not true because there are like a million things to cuss out on this game. I only had a couple of things to say. It only really took 2 or 3 videos to get them across. If I wanted to build my channel on hate, trust me, I can be here all day. Don't particularly enjoy talking about Mortal Kombat anymore because it's been the same shit for how many years now. It's boring. However, I do think this discussion is good. And since we're going into a new age with Tekken 8, and most of my time's going to be focused on that, and I probably won't be paying too much attention to Mortal Kombat and watching it die its very slow death, at least on the competitive circuit. I thought I'd read these anyway. So we'll start off with Mr. Aquaman, who said he's given his thoughts on the current competitive Mortal Kombat community. And he says, COVID killed a lot. Warner Brothers, the higher-ups, killed and are currently killing a lot. And every day I see the community killing itself with bitching and lack of an actual focus or purpose. Now let me just stop that tweet there. I think it's a bit wild to me why people don't understand why there is so much bitching in the Mortal Kombat community. Why there is so much toxicity. Now, full acknowledgement, the Mortal Kombat community, amongst all the fighting games that I've seen, is the most toxic, hands down. At least when we're talking about how people express themselves. If you want to talk about real toxicity, look no further than Smash Brothers, but that's a whole other topic. In terms of like expressing themselves and putting their points across and just how you interact with the community online when you're playing the game and through Twitter, yeah, it's 100% toxic, but I don't just think they're toxic out of thin air. I think everybody just needs to realize that they're bitching constantly because the game sucks. I don't see bitching like this from Street Fighter or Tekken. Now, there is bitching in Street Fighter, don't get me wrong. I've seen the Ken, the JP, and the Luke arguments. And over in Tekken 7, people will complain about Akuma for God knows how long, but there was an overwhelming amount of positivity. My memories of Tekken 7 are filled with positive memories, of positive moments. My memories of Street Fighter 6, however short it's been, have been mostly positive. Even though I stopped playing the game because there's not a character in there that I want to play, I can acknowledge that is a good fighting game. Yes, they have messed up on certain things. Yes, I think the costume situation is absolutely outrageous. And yes, I do think Capcom can be doing more because I genuinely think they have something special there. But at its base, both Tekken and Mortal Kombat have been good. Not Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter have been good for as long as I can remember. And that's why you don't hear so much bitching from the community. Every single NRS YouTuber that I watch, barring Foxy Grandpa and Ketchup and Mustard, barring those two, everybody else bitches. I just watched another one called Diff. I like Diff's content. I really enjoyed Diff's content. I just watched him covering the Sonic Fox and the Javier grand finals where Javier beat Sonic Fox with low tier Scorpion and Sonic Fox started bitching, making absolutely no sense in anything he said. He was complaining about the connection even though he went 2-0 up and then lost 3-2. Was the connection bad when you were winning 2-0? He's complaining that Scorpion can teleport in bad ping, but he's playing Sindel that has already very difficult to block things, so I don't even know what he's complaining about. But anyway, even in that video where Diff was covering it, Diff was bitching about Sindel. There's just constant bitching in this community, and it's not because these players are bitches, although some of them most certainly are, like in every community. It's that the game is shit at its core. The game is not good. What's holding this game up, in my opinion, other than the fact, obviously, if you acknowledge the casual players, because to the casual player base, Mortal Kombat is absolutely huge and they love it. But for the competitive scene, for me, I've tuned out the tournaments. The game's boring. The only time I ever tune into Mortal Kombat now is when Ketchup and Mustard upload, because I think they give very informed takes, and when Foxy uploads, because it's like looking into the past of the FGC with all of the trash talking and whatnot. But we'll continue with this tweet. I just wanted to get that point across because it's very evident as to why people are bitching about this game constantly. I can see in most people's gameplay and content that most of you don't even enjoy playing. Yes, because the game sucks and I don't know why people are holding on to it. I let it go a while ago. There is a lack of expression and fun. There's such a staleness to everyone's copy-paste play from what they see the same few folks doing. Top players can definitely do more, but I don't know how we can achieve that. Money talks to them, and that's about it these days. We needed their full support and the whole Ask community years ago. It's probably going to take them going broke to realize it, but content creation will keep them solo focused and fed. Now, I think he's talking about the pro players there. What I don't understand this take. Like, the pro players are doing the smart thing here. What we're about to get into is the payout from Warner Brothers and why people are probably not going to tournaments and why they're choosing content creation, which I think is the smart thing to do when the parent, the governing body, essentially Warner Brothers and everyone, are not paying you. Why would I go to tournaments when I can sit on YouTube and upload content and make £1,000, £2,000 a month? What sense does that make? It's not on the players to fix this game. It's not on the community. It is on WB to provide them with a space that they want to enter. So that take makes no sense to me. He says that's part of it too, and that he's guilty of it, but he tries his best. Another part is that our community has almost as many events as active community members. There's less of a focus on one of a few places, hence more of a scattered feel. We will see. I am hopeful and still grinding to bring folks together. Trying to pull an offline off again, but I just turned things around. So we will see. Offlines are expensive. Try and host one if you don't believe me. I plan on building out Coliseum more in 2024 as well, with online events that just give us something fun to do between offlines. I know online isn't the move, but the root of our issues are far deeper. We need to learn to have fun again, in my opinion, and start here. Please see this as a hobby first. Don't bet your life on it. Now, I agree with that last part. Please see it as a hobby first, and it is a hobby. Playing games is a hobby unless you're at Sonic Fox's level where you can actually make a living, or unless you've crafted a plan to do content creation and you've grasped the attention of the masses, then you can turn it into a life. But for the most part, for most people, it's going to be a hobby. And I do commend him for trying to be a pillar in the community and trying to keep the competitive side alive of it. But again, it's not really his problem. It's not really his fault, sorry. As much as he might try, him saying to people we need to learn how to have fun again, well, the problem is that the game is not fun. That's the initial problem here. People wouldn't be complaining this much if the game was like Tekken 8, where Tekken 8 is fun. We have an abundance of things to do in Tekken 8. People are very excited, and you can't give me the argument, oh, well, Tekken 8's not out yet, so you don't know. We've played enough Tekken 8. We had a closed network test, a closed beta test. We've got a demo now, which I've been playing constantly. It's been to loads of events. I've played Tekken 8 more than I've played Mortal Kombat 1 and Street Fighter. The game's not even out yet. The only thing that can destroy Tekken 8 at this point is if it has bad online. Other than that, they've pretty much nailed everything. So the problem here, the root problem, the deep-rooted problem here, is that Mortal Kombat will not fix its issues because the game itself is not good. You're pulling at straws. That's the problem here. You are pulling at straws. The game, the foundation is not solid. So everything you build upon it will crumble. That's just the way it is. Now, I know that some people listening to this video might love Mortal Kombat 1. That's fine. As a casual game, Mortal Kombat 1 always sells well. Casual players don't play on that same level as someone like me or people that are above me in terms of skill. So this video is only really aimed at the competitive scene. But I do sympathize with him because I know he loves Mortal Kombat. And I understand that he wants people to come out and he wants people to do events. But as he said, doing events is very costly. Now, Warner Brothers has boatloads of money. They could throw money into the ocean for the next 10 years and they'd probably still have money. They don't want to support their game. Why should anybody else? And then Scar says, in other words, the scene is cooked. Y'all better get off your butts and get out there and get in touch with the real world, essentially, because life is going to come at you fast. And, you know, that's just facts. You need to be doing other things than just playing games. So it's okay to play games. I love playing games. I play games with my friends all the time. I have another YouTube channel. I'm getting the girl into playing games with me that does the YouTube channel. I love games, but you have to have balance. You got to do more than one thing. And if the game's not paying well, then, you know, it's time to jump ship. And then this Dylan Lloyd says, we deserve better from NRS. We stuck with them through COVID. As a competitor, I stuck with them through COVID. I can say that I helped to keep the scene alive through my online competing and co-TOing. At the very least, as a community, we deserve an apology. As much as I love MK1, don't like you don't, for what it's trying to be as a fighting game, I've come to the realization finally that we've been playing a hurriedly produced game since fall. Now, what I don't understand is that everybody knew on day one that this was a rushed game. Everyone knew. I mean, we can all lie, we can all pretend that we didn't see this, but everyone knew this game was rushed. First of all, it's pretty bare bones. For a game that comes from a company as big as Warner Brothers, for it to have this little in it, is pretty shocking to me. Now, I don't know if anybody else has realized, I'm probably sure you have by now, but Mortal Kombat 1 was supposed to be Injustice 3, and it's plastered all over the game. I mean, I can give you 2 examples now. When you go to the character select screen and you pick characters, they clash like Injustice, right? It has that whole Injustice setup, and the cameo system was probably supposed to be sidekicks. Why do you think Shao Kahn has got those horns on his head? Do you think it's just because they came up with a nifty design for him, or do you think that was actually meant to be Steppenwolf from the Justice League? Just look at all the character designs. Go around the roster, look at the character designs, and then question, was this actually meant to be Mortal Kombat 1, or did something happen midway through development and they switched things up? Now, it's not to say Mortal Kombat 1 is a completely crap game. It's not. It's not a terrible game. It's just not very good. It's not up to par. It's not up to par of the amount of money Warner Brothers has for them to release a game in that state. First of all, the online doesn't even work properly. I don't even know if Wi-Fi filters have actually come in yet. When I was playing, there was no Wi-Fi filters, and then no crossplay. The crossplay thing is absolutely unacceptable in my opinion. Wi-Fi filters is bad enough, but crossplay in a game that made as much money as it is. I mean, even if you remove Warner Brothers, right, and you look at Mortal Kombat 11 as a standalone game, which is, again, another Mortal Kombat game that was not good, the amount of money it made, because casuals love Mortal Kombat, should have justified this game being feature-rich. Much more feature-rich than Street Fighter and Tekken, and yet it's the most lacking one out of all of them. Isn't that funny? They hyped up that Bloody Invasions mode, which was absolutely the most laughable thing I've ever seen in my life. The story mode, you know, it was good up till chapter 10, but bad writing, but that's just an opinion-based thing. The online doesn't work properly. There are features missing left, right, and center. They have done emergency patches all over the place. It's like, what was going on? This seemed like a cash grab to me. I just want to touch on what he says there, where he says, we deserve better from NRS. We stuck with them through COVID. Bro, Dylan, I don't know who you are, but listen. NRS don't give a shit about you, and they never will. Or maybe not NRS. Let me cut them some slack. Warner Brothers don't give a shit about you, and that's the parent company. They don't care. They do not care. They give the orders, NRS follows, and you just deal with the consequences. All of this, we stuck with you, we gave back to the scene. These guys don't care. If you need proof, just look at what Nintendo did with Smash Brothers. They don't care how long you support their game. Once they've got your money, that's it. You're just a number. You're a spoke on the wheel. The wheel keeps turning. All of this stuff like we're friends, you know, you and NRS are friends. No, bro, I'm sorry. I know you probably put your back into it. I don't know who you are, but I believe you. But these companies, they don't give a shit about you. They never will. This game's desyncing issue is highly unacceptable for going on this long, and it makes me wonder who the fuck really cares over there about the appearance of their brand and image. This is a $60 game that feels like lipstick on a pig. That's a good way to put it. The lipstick being the DLCs, the pig being black screens, lack of rooms, desync issues, weird as fuck screen freezes at the end of matches. I've experienced that. Where you have to sit and pray the game counts your win. Finally getting a Wi-Fi filter months after release. Okay, I guess they've got it now. The list just goes on and on. NRS do better. I didn't even know about some of those issues on there. Lack of rooms. I didn't even pay attention to that because I only went into ranked. But I did get the weird screen freezes, and I did actually get losses from it when I'd won matches. I remember there was an issue where I started a game and it synced me up with this person and it desynced, and then I went back to the main screen with a loss. And I was like, what just happened? And I'm out of that phase now where I care what my scorecard looks like, because at the end of the day, you can have 100 wins and no losses and then go to a tournament and get beat up. So I don't particularly care, but I can 100% understand why it'd be annoying for people. I mean, as a matter of fact, if I was doing content creation, it was all about how undefeated I am, and then that happened, I'd be fuming. That's such a basic feature that you should have in your game, especially when the game that came before it did so well. MK11, for as much as I hate that game, sold stupidly well. So I don't understand why this game is so bare bones. At the very least, even if I don't like the gameplay, all the things surrounding it should work. Envy says, I'm so glad everyone's speaking up. Let's not even talk about the issues on PC being so bad and it gets ignored. It took so long to fix the King of the Hill issues. I don't even know what issues that had. I didn't even play it, but I'm surprised they couldn't even get that right. And honestly, I haven't played it since then. Every time I think about it, I see so many issues I just passed. Yeah, it sucks, you know, because the thing is that my channel was meant to be a Mortal Kombat channel. And it went through loads of different changes, obviously, but it was meant to be a Mortal Kombat channel. It's not a Mortal Kombat channel because the game is just not good. You gotta let it go, guys. I mean, you guys hung on longer than I did. Now, To be fair, I hung on for a whole year on Mortal Kombat 11 when I finally said this enough is enough. And I really did have high hopes for MK1 considering how much money MK11 made, and I really did think they were going to put the community on their back. I could have accepted them making a game and gone in a way that I didn't like, but I can't accept the fact that the Nintendo Switch version literally looks like doo-doo. I've seen Dreamcast games look better than that. I've literally bought games on Steam for about £1 that look better than the Mortal Kombat 1 version on Nintendo Switch. And then on top of that, there's the PC version that's bugged. The PS5 version is bugged. The game don't function properly. It's just like NRS. Like, what is going on over there? Is it Warner Brothers? Have they got you by the short and curlies? I'm genuinely confused. Just think, MV, waited 4 to 5 years and lack of support for MK11 for this. Yes, and you will be waiting another 4 to 5 years if you wait for MK2 expecting any different. It's not going to change. The one thing I'll give NRS the benefit of the doubt for is if they announce Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks 2. I'll probably buy it, because I'm an idiot, because Shaolin Monks was so good. I think it was lightning in a bottle. I don't think they'll be able to do that again. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm pretty sure I'll be disappointed. And then that will be it for me. I mean, luckily, MK1's come out around the same time as Tekken 8, so I don't have to go on like a whole fighting game drought. This is laughable. And you know what? I'm not even going to act like Dylan is the only one that waited. I kind of waited as well. I don't know why. I waited. I bought the premium version like an absolute twat. And I've got this Liu Kang. It's not even coloured in. This Liu Kang statue thing, figurine, on top of my arcade cabinet just sitting there now. $250, Mike. Was it really worth it? No, it was not. Tom Brady says, if you win the Mortal Kombat Pro competition final, you made less than a 15-year-old working at McDonald's in New York for the year. We need to redefine our use of the word pro from now on. That is absolutely diabolical. That is absolutely diabolical. And I'm saying it's diabolical because in this day and age, people can legitimately make a living off gaming, even away from YouTube and Twitch. They can do it from going to competitions and not even getting first place. And yet Mortal Kombat, that is under the watchful eye of Warner Brothers, the people that own Harry Potter, they can't throw us some crumbs. They can't throw some crumbs, these players, these people that have put time into this game. I'll tell you why though. Because the competitive scene is 1%, if that. They don't care about it. If the competitive scene disappeared, Mortal Kombat will still do well. It won't even be a dent. There will not be a chink in the armor. The amount of casuals that buy Mortal Kombat completely outweigh the pros. Of the pros, there is probably, I would say, less than 500 of that level, maybe 1,000. And then there's millions of people playing Mortal Kombat. So they don't give a shit. That's why the payout's so low. They don't have to give a shit. And Warner Brothers said, you ain't gonna give a shit, NRS. Even if NRS does give a shit, Warner Brothers said, you ain't gonna because we don't need to. They don't respect you guys. I hate to break it to you. And you probably already know. K7 says, to all my MK people, Warner Brothers should be the one we are blaming for the lack of earning put into the pro competition, not NRS. Warner Brothers has all the money and choose to put none of it back into the pro scene. Instead, we have $10 skins and DLC pumped up because that's how they make their money. Essentially, he's right. The skin situation in Mortal Kombat is absolutely hilarious. Anyone that is buying into that stuff, man, you do not have good money management skills or a serious lack of self-respect. Maybe I could accept it if it's like your favorite character, but it's still pushing it, man. That is a lot of money for skins that don't particularly look good. I mean, even the Sub-Zero one, I think they did the Deadly Alliance or the Deception costume. I can't remember which game it's from. And it doesn't look exactly like the old one. I don't think it warrants its price tag. They're taking the piss. He's probably right in saying that it's not NRS themselves. Even though NRS seems to be incompetent in making a good fighting game itself, the actual funding for the pro scene is probably from Warner Brothers. And I've heard about business practices in Warner Brothers, so I'm really not surprised. The competitive Mortal Kombat scene is going to die a slow and gruesome death, much like its fatalities. So, do you know what, guys? It's not the end of the world. Luckily for you, the greatest fighting game of all time is about to come out. Just go over there. I don't know how much money Tekken's putting up, but you'll at least have a good time playing it. You'll at least have a good time playing it, and then you can make a YouTube channel and have fun playing it, and maybe your YouTube channel will blow up and people will watch your videos and you'll get loads of money and you'll be happy. Or you can keep playing Mortal Kombat, get no money for it, play a frustrating game, upload it to YouTube, go to bed screaming into your pillow, knowing that you have to do it again in the morning because you don't want to go get a real job, and then, you know, grey hairs before you're fucking 30. You know, is it really worth it? I would love to play NRS games and support them, but if we're being realistic, it's just a waste of time. If you want to play a game and make a living off of it, MK is just not the game. He's completely right. First of all, you ain't going to make a living, as we understand now the winner of the pro competition, as far as I'm aware, it was like $30,000, which is laughable when Street Fighters is $1 million. And then on top of all that, you have to play this frustrating experience. Because Mortal Kombat is a frustrating game. If you guys are wondering why people are bitching all the time, it's because the game is frustrating. Everybody bitches on that game, including me. I was bitching on it. I'd play it and be like, yo, who tested this game? Did anybody test it? To be fair, I did get some things wrong. I think, to be fair, up block is a pretty good system. But there are so many things that are annoying about this game. Not that they don't work within the realms of what they were trying to do. I think they accomplished what they wanted. It's just what they accomplished was dog shit. I just don't agree with the design philosophy. So you can either play a game that drives you up the wall for peanuts, or you can go to a game that maybe doesn't have much money either, but at least you're having fun. Maybe you can build a community, you know, build a Discord, you know, do live streams. Maybe you get donations because people like your personality, you know. Don't kill yourself playing this game, man. It's just not worth it because they don't care about you. And then Sikander, again, Sikander is probably one of the best MK YouTubers. He's actually one of the ones that I forgot to mention. Him, Foxy, and Ketchup and Mustard. You know, they're putting in the shift for Mortal Kombat. Sikander is really putting in the shift because Sub-Zero is not good on this game. He's not considered high tier, and Sikander's out here blowing people up. So shout out to Sikander. His content is hilarious. But he says, "Are you aware you released a new Mortal Kombat game 4 months ago?" No, listen, I don't know if this is NRS or WB. I can imagine a situation where Tyler Lansdowne and Ed Boon are tied up in a room somewhere, and Warner Brothers is coming feeding them like chopsticks. Giving them chopsticks to eat from every day, using their mouths, you know, having to fight over bread. Say, okay, we're going to release a character today, but they're not going to be very good, and we're going to do this today, and we're going to charge them $10 for it. And Ed Boon's there screaming, saying, "Stop killing my baby." And listen, Warner Brothers obviously don't care. They obviously don't care, guys. You know, like, it is what it is. And Scar says, "Why are the old pros not in blank tournaments?" So he's saying, why are they not showing up to tournaments? Keep in mind, most of the older cats did this strictly for the love at one point. When you older, that bread gotta be consistent. Most have jobs or moved on to content. To the newcomers, I ain't mad at you. Grind and get your money. It's a fair statement. I remember when I was younger, I was going to tournament, I was doing all right, and I was winning money. But you do have to move on, and I think the content route is a viable route for Mortal Kombat YouTubers, provided they censor some of the fatalities, because YouTube will demonetize them. But I think it's a viable route for them because there's so many casuals that play Mortal Kombat. They're inevitably going to go onto YouTube to search for content. I think that's something that the pro players of yesteryear should do, because the tournaments ain't paying. It's that simple. You've got a dog shit game and dog shit management and no money. No communication from Warner Brothers or NRS. Nobody seems to know what's going on over there. It's frustrating to play. It's frustrating to watch. It's barely functional online. Has bare-bone features, and the offline features outside of playing the story mode once are dog shit. So in closing, I would like to say that once again, I got it right on day one, and we are now seeing it. Now this time, it hasn't taken 2 years for people to catch on. I'm sorry to toot my own horn, but there's evidence of this. And again, it has happened, except this time it only took 4 months. Now I don't know what's going to happen to NRS. I've seen crazier things happen, so maybe they can turn it around. Maybe they can fix this, or maybe they don't need to, because like I said at the beginning of this video, the casual scene is so overwhelmingly big. It eclipses Tekken and Street Fighter together, that they don't care about you guys, you competitive people. They don't give a shit. They might throw you a crumb every now and then. Fix Cyrax here. Decrease Baraka's damage. By the way, I remember when Baraka got nerfed, and I got loads of comments saying, "Oh, he's not even good anymore." Didn't he win a tournament the other day? That Tekken Master, whatever his name is, someone from the Middle East. Didn't he win? I was telling people, you think a damage nerf is what's going to put Baraka in? You must be crazy. You must be crazy. Cyrax, yeah, they nerfed that character into the ground, but I called it on day one. If you go back and watch my original videos, I said the best team in this game is Baraka Striker. Now, they might not be the best team in the game, I don't know, but they're definitely up there. I was using Striker on day one. Then I switched to Kung Lao because I got bored. But anyway, enough glazing myself. I've gotten my point across. It's just what I wanted to say. Guys, do content creation or move on to other games. NRS don't give a shit about you, and you shouldn't give a shit about them.